From Learfield, this is the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, and by Credit Union of Ohio on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with Coach Jake Diebler and former Ohio State captain Ron Stokes, here's the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
And thanks for joining us today. Let's start by giving Buckeye Leaves out to Skip Mossick, our outstanding producer, who for the first time has arranged us to do a coach's show on the road while we were away for 2 consecutive games. So great job, Skip, making this all happen in the team hotel. Buckeyes yesterday fall 69-61 at UCLA. Jake, you talked about it after the game, and that's the things that you looked at that went well. Playing together, you saw an improvement from the Northwestern game to this game with guys playing together out on the court.
Yeah, I thought we worked together on both sides of the ball better. Listen, I thought our toughness and our togetherness were back to the standard and the level that we needed to be, and that was really good to see. And listen, this team's responded, so there was no question in my mind where we were going to have that. You know, in an environment against a team who plays with great physicality and toughness defensively, I thought we did what we needed to do in response to that as well throughout the course of the game. You know, we were a couple shots short, and a couple rebounds short, just a few possessions that could have changed the entire complexion of the very end.
When you look at this league, there's a lot of talent, especially in the backcourt, but there's also a number of bigs that bring a lot of challenges. And then when you look at Mara, for example, for Mara, did I say that correctly?
You did.
Yep. 7'3". Don't teach that. I say that a lot of times. But what his length and size, what are some of the difficulties that your team had to deal with in going against someone like him?
Yeah, well, I think he had a couple blocks and altered a couple shots, so that was impactful on the defensive side. Was able to get almost a double in the game. His rebounding was impactful. I thought, we let him catch the ball too deep a couple times offensively, which didn't allow us to come over and trap. So the initial positioning needed to be better to force his catch outside the lane, and then we could provide some more support. But his size was certainly impactful, and that's been an issue for us, especially when we've been down a guy or two in the front court.
You talked after the game also, Jake, about taking care of the basketball and how your team really, when you consider the way UCLA turns people over, by and large, if you would repeat it again, just how you felt like your team did a reasonably good job taking care of the ball in that game.
Yeah, they're the best team in the league at turning people over, one of the best teams in the country. And, for us to have 9 turnovers, and in that game, more assists and turnovers, half our made field goals were assisted. Again, those were really good things offensively, and we certainly had opportunities for more assists with some of the looks we got. So I thought we did some really good things. They take you out of your ability to kind of run flow offense, right? They force you to drive. They play really aggressive and try to collapse when they do force you to drive, and they'll limit some catches with some certain guys. So I thought we adjusted, throughout the course of the game to different things. Well, certainly had some broken possessions, but you got to give them credit for that. But I thought our response was good. We just, we couldn't quite string together enough offensive possessions that ended in a positive result to kind of change the flow of the game in the second half.
Coach, I know going back to when you took the job or accepted the job, how excited you were about the opportunity. Growing up in Ohio, you had a brother that played for Ohio State, and how you embraced all the former players and so forth. The game against Northwestern was a tough one. You look at the score of the game; it's not what this team is all about. But what were some of the things that you did drive home with the team to equate it to the better performance against UCLA?
Well, I told them first and foremost, every time we step between the lines, there's no excuses. I don't like how you feel, what's going on, how big the game. Like when we step between the lines, we always play tough, and we always play together. That's what this program, it's important to me to lay that foundation of this program in year one. And I feel like we've done a really good job with that. Didn't do it to the level we needed to. That game, certainly. So that was kind of priority number one was making sure we got right back to that. Felt like we did that. Again, didn't play a perfect game by any means against UCLA, but we had to get back to that. So we owned, that we didn't do it. We talked about it. We addressed it, and then our guys responded like they have all year.
You talked about looks that you got yesterday. A majority of them, you like them?
Yeah, I liked a lot of our three-point looks. There were probably a couple maybe that we could have gotten to something a little bit better, but for the most part, I thought our three-point looks were pretty good. I thought we had some good looks inside. There were a couple times around the rim where we needed to make one more pass instead of, forcing it up in the crowd. But, I liked our aggressiveness getting to the paint. We got to continue to play through the paint inside. That doesn't mean the shot always comes from the paint, right? Could be inside out. But, our aggressiveness playing down here, we missed some shots around the rim that, we've made pretty consistently. So, I think by and large, again, it's a really good defensive team, so I don't want to take away, credit from them. They forced us into some tough situations, but I felt like we read those tough situations better. And, we just couldn't quite complete the possessions as well as we needed to. I liked our effort on the offensive glass. I mean, there were some good things there.
One of the things that I really like to see from players is that when there's a mistake made, a good, bad, or indifferent, the effort to get back. And I thought, Coach, there was a number of plays, especially in that first half, where, they turned your team over, but your team did an incredible job to get back to either block it, deflect it, or whatever to prevent scores.
Yeah, I agree, Ron. I thought we had some guys that really, by and large, collectively, we played really, really hard. And, in this game, right, you got that has to be that's who we are. It has to be who we are. And, I felt like we were able, unlike the Northwestern game where some of our offensive issues, resulted in some poor defensive possessions and that became contagious. This game, we really played tough and hard the entire game. We were connected. And, it was important. It kept us kind of hanging on when we were missing some shots, right? And we shouldn't be a team that wins or loses based upon if we make shots.
Right.
Like, I want us to be a team that wins off toughness and togetherness, and sometimes, despite missed shots. Right? But so I thought we played much better in that regard, and so there were some high-level effort plays in that game.
I want to go back to what you said about paint touches and not necessarily scoring out of the paint, but going through there. Is that something where players have to sharpen that skill of whether it's vision, keeping their head up once they get the ball in what can be a congested area to look at other places?
I think it certainly experience plays a factor in reading crowds, and we've tried to create some different avenues and things to get close to the rim by ducking guys in. I thought we did a really good job at that last game, got us to the rim. And then, I think you have to make these split-second decisions. It's unique because you got to drive in there with great force and speed, but then you got to slow down a little bit. And we talk a lot about playing off 2 feet. You see guys jumping off 1 foot oftentimes get you in trouble and then forces you to play in a position really of desperation a lot of times instead of, poised 2-foot plays where you allow to really read the defense. And I think we've had some guys who have improved at a quicker rate than others in that regard. And some of our younger guys, that's kind of the next evolution to their game, right? Is reading those crowds. And it's important for us to be able to do because we're seeing teams hug up, right, on certain guys on the perimeter, and then when we do get there, they may leave and collapse and really try. So that's why we got to continue to get better at it. And I think we have. I thought Quez did a better job that game of reading the paint. Bruce has continued to do a better job. Really, you look at his assist numbers in the last, few weeks. Like, he's done a good job reading the paint. Devin's got to continue to improve reading the paint there. John's got to continue reading the paint. But I think we are, and it's an important part. Those crowds, how teams help up to protect the rim, it's all critical.
I guess we have to remember, too, now that Zach Edey's not in the league, they may call 3 seconds. If you have a question for Coach Diebler, you can submit it to our Union Home Mortgage inbox at ohiostatebuckeyes.com and click on Coach's Show inbox, Union Home Mortgage. Learn about their 1% down payment program at uhm.com and MLS number 2229. More of today's show presented by Roosters coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready?
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
We can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey, basketball fans, Credit Union of Ohio wants to help you score more by making life more affordable. It's time to play with a team that helps you win every day. Credit Union of Ohio's loan rates have dropped to provide affordable financing for the things you want and need. It's time to reevaluate your current loans and consider refinancing with a team that cares about you. Check out current specials and get started scoring more money at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Growing up in the family business, I've seen firsthand the joy and love that comes with finding the perfect engagement ring. For over 77 years, our family's been dedicated to providing the best quality, unmatched selection, and the guaranteed best price. From timeless classics to custom designs, we have the perfect ring for every love story. Let our family help you celebrate the moments that mean the most. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. You're listening to the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Time for our Elk and Elk injury report, and we should change it to the illness report, at least the way things have gone. And Jake, I know you've talked about and couching into the fact that it's never an excuse, it's never a reason to lay anything on, but it's a real thing that you're dealing with. Are you feeling like guys are starting to turn a corner a little bit?
Well,
or is that unknown?
Yeah, well, I think some guys are, still struggling, and I thought, some guys showed some great toughness and heart in the game yesterday to be out there. We didn't really, even when we arrived at the arena, we weren't quite sure, if we were going to have everybody here who's on the trip available or not. So, I thought our guys did a tremendous job of, our performance team did a tremendous job helping guys get ready, and guys showed great toughness and care and fight for, this team. And we're going to utilize these next couple days to get as healthy as we can before Wednesday.
Okay, our injury report brought to you by Elk and Elk Serious fans. For Ohio State Athletics, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Go Bucks. I know some of the print guys asked you after the game of the Zoom interview you did in regard especially to Aaron Bradshaw. Is that still kind of unknown whether you're going to be able to ship him out here for the back end of the trip?
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying. We've had some good, I think good progress here in the last 24 hours. So we'll find out here more this afternoon. But the plan is, as of right now, to hopefully get him out here and be available tomorrow for practice.
Buckeye Nation never fails. There's some educated fans out there, and let's go to that first question.
Okay.
It kind of ties into what we just talked about regarding illness and injury.
See, Ron trying to take away my job. Union Home Mortgage Inbox questions. I'm kidding. Ron.
Never do that.
Never. By the way, happy birthday, Ron Stokes.
Thank you, Paul.
I feel like we've been celebrating your birthday for like 4 days, Ron. Happy birthday, man. Found a way to stretch this thing out.
Yeah,
Happy
really.
birthday.
Gerald in Springfield asking, without routinely having all of your pieces in place due to injury and illness, what are your thoughts on playing any more zone defense, or is it just something that is too hard to throw in there at that extent this late in the season?
No, we've tried to get to it. We tried to play it a little bit, yesterday, and I think it's part of the issue, right? Is the guys are out for games, they're also out for practice. But I think we feel like it's something we need to use just at minimum to kind of change the rhythm. Teams may be in offensively, and use it not to play less physical or less intense, but maybe to protect a couple guys from foul trouble, which we've been in at times. So we want to use it, really in every game, and we sprinkled it in there a few times against UCLA, and we want to continue to try to find opportunities to use it.
Paul, what I try to do is look at those questions so that I don't ask the question that's already in there. That's why I give the Buckeye Nation a lot of credit.
Joking with you,
but jokingly, you say practice.
Yeah,
practice is needed.
It is. It is.
But and the reason why I say that, Coach, is because just like man to man, and any little mistake you make when you're trying to play against the opposition, it can lead to a 2-pointer, 3-pointer, whatever that could cost you the ball game. But the zone, it takes practice with understanding the rotations and what you need to take away in different aspects of the game.
Yeah, like yesterday we gave up a 3, and it was a busted rotation. Mm-hmm. We had an overhelp on the wing. It wasn't his responsibility. His responsibility was take the pass back to the guard, and they made us pay for it. So, again, that stuff happens man or zone, right? Like throughout the flow of the game. But I thought for the most part, I like our zone. We've done a zone to man at times. We've done a press back into it, and so I think we got to continue to utilize it.
When you're practicing zone defense, can that help you on the other end with some familiarity when you are on offense going up against a zone?
Yeah, it's a big reason why, we wanted to put a zone in, to be honest with you, is because we wanted to be able to, go against ourselves when we needed to for games and preparation, and also be able to utilize it, like I said, to change the rhythm of a game and try to keep some teams off, kind of off center. And so it's twofold. It's twofold to be able to go against yourself in practice, kind of say good on good, to some degree. When you have a zone defense in, it can be helpful because you gotta get those reps specifically early on in the year.
What's an interesting dynamic is when you look at players and you go through the scouting report, and I had a chance to listen to some of it, and a guy like Eric Daly Jr., I don't think he scored in double figures last 4 or 5 games, but he has the ability to explode like he did in this particular game. So when you're trying to go through the scouting report and prioritize what you need to take away, how do you prepare for something like this where a guy's been struggling, then all of a sudden he gets hot from outside?
Yeah, well, we talk a lot about you never want a player to get going because we didn't do our job, right? And I think you look at his first 3, it was a poor closeout. It wasn't a good enough closeout. Our hands were down. He saw that go through. Our closeout was better the next 3 he hit, but he was going. Yeah, I mean he got an easy look, and now he got confidence and rhythm. So those are the type of things I think that are frustrating is when that's not, we practice that closeout every single day. You've got to close out accordingly. You got to trust the numbers, I think, too. Even if a guy's struggling, you got to respect the numbers, and our guys do. I mean, we don't take guys lightly, but he's a guy who we knew liked to drive left, and we let him get left. Those are some of the details that specifically with young players you often see more than older players, right? As part of when people say in college basketball, old wins or you want experience. It's sometimes it's just little details like that come out, and good players make you pay when you get to your strengths, right?
Yep.
And typically older players are better at kind of having more attention to detail than younger players, and so I think it's a tangible example of what people are talking about when they say difference between experience and inexperience in basketball. But yeah, he's a really good player, and we have a ton of respect for him, and I thought we let him get going when we didn't have to. And then good players, the basket, how it is, Ron. Basket looks a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Yep.
You talked about hands being down, and you can think all the way back to youth basketball where they're always talking about keeping your hands up. Is there when to have your hands up and how far and how often? Is that kind of an acquired, teachable skill?
Well, we practice, being active. We want deflections. We practice, closing out with a high hand and an early high hand and taking away rhythm threes. We've guarded the three-point line really well this year.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a big reason why. That was just one specific example. I think by and large we've done a good job. That was one specific example of this game where we didn't. But there's a lot of technique that goes into it, right? Practicing over and over and over is important. But yeah, I like us aggressive. We forced 13 turnovers. Had 8 steals. I thought our hand activity was good. We need that. I like that type of style and aggressiveness defensively.
Coach, when we asked this question about Devin Rowe after the game, one of your most important guys to your offense, he struggled last couple games, been a little bit inconsistent here of late. A combination of how the defense is playing him, maybe some things he needs to do more effectively to kind of change that.
Yeah, I think both. I think teams are really crowding him. They're forcing him, kind of one direction, and they've doubled him some, in the interior. And so I think he's got to trust his skill. He's got to trust the pass. Yep. When he draws two, he's got to trust it and move it. I think he's got to utilize fakes, around the rim. We've talked about that a lot. He and I got to use shot fakes, and because he's a good free throw shooter.
Yeah.
And a lot of times he gets close to the rim. You got attracts the bigger, taller guys on the court. So. And then I think he's got to utilize cutting, and kind of sometimes gets caught just in with a spacing problem. So either kind of cut through or cut to the rim or space. And I think he shot the ball from 3 in the last month has been much better than where he started at the beginning of the season. So he's got to stay confident. He's got to stay aggressive. I think he's got to continue to read those crowds better, Ron. But it's also he's like you talk about. You become a really good player. You earn the attention, right, of the other team at a high level, and that's what he's seen.
The Roosters Foundation helps raise over $1 million each year for local charities and organizations and is the official wing sponsor of your Ohio State Buckeyes. The Roosters Foundation is donating $25 for every foul shot the Buckeyes make at home this season to BAM, Beyond Ability Matters. BAM provides kids and young adults with neurological disabilities the opportunity to live their best lives. We'll have more with our weekly show presented by Roosters when we continue on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Life is more fun with a pal. So is pizza. So check out Donato's new $5 Pizza Pals menu. Order any large pizza and add on your choice of a sub, salad, wings, a 10-inch pizza, and more for just $5. It's the new $5 Pizza Pals menu from Donato's. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
Every game, every season, Buckeye Nation comes together to support Ohio State basketball. The Buckeyes make their fans proud by giving it their all on the court. Their hard work, determination, and resilience embody what our state is all about. Every client, every day, Elk & Elk works tirelessly to support the great people of Ohio. A consistent winner in the courtroom, we get injury victims the compensation they deserve. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye Nation, join us on April 13th at the 2025 Ohio State Formather, presented by Union Home Mortgage, the Ohio Beef Council, and Raising Cane's. This is your chance to run down the tunnel and finish on the 50-yard line at Ohio Stadium. A portion of the proceeds benefit the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. This is something you won't want to miss. Register today at ohiostateformather.com. Go Bucks!
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Union Home Mortgage is the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at uhm.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. And welcome to this week's show as we come to you still from Los Angeles, as Ohio State will transition from the UCLA game yesterday to face USC on Wednesday. We'll go back to our Union Home Mortgage inbox questions. James in Toledo asking, how challenging is it to adjust when the officials are clearly letting physical play be allowed, and how do you instruct your players to play through it?
James must have some specific thoughts about officiating and then put it in a very nice question there. Listen, I think we know this league is physical, and it's our responsibility to adjust throughout the flow of the game. And I want us to err on the side of being the more physical team. I don't really want us to go in and kind of wait for the other team to set the temperature of the game. I want us to do it. So we talked about that. Felt like we were physical and aggressive against UCLA, against a physical and aggressive team. I thought that was really important, and we got to continue to be consistent with that. But there's going to be times. I mean, officials are human; they miss calls. It happens. I think the big thing for us is to continue to focus on the next play. And the biggest thing you want as a coach is you just want consistency, whatever it looks like that game. And it's going to be different from game to game. I think that oftentimes is a frustrating part too, but you just want consistency.
Yeah, that's a tricky word, consistency, because it's one thing to let a guy play physical out on a perimeter, and then when it's our guy going to the basket and it's taking away 2 points, they're consistent with letting it go, but it cost us a couple points. I mean, there was again, I know you got to be careful what you say about officials, but it's okay for me to talk about it. I just thought that they missed some closeouts, fouls, and I'm always cautious that when you close out and you're taking away a guy's ability to come down, that can lead to injury. So I think they should definitely pay more attention to that. But that caused some issues there, and I thought, boy, we had guys going to the basket early where they were just flat out hit, and it impacted them to their ability to score.
Yeah, there were a handful, at least, of specific plays, I think, in last game where, the big thing for me is you got to protect the shooter.
Yep. That's what I was trying to get to.
You got to protect the shooter. Jump shots, finishes. Listen, they missed some on the other side that they could have called on us, but I think the big, there were some obvious ones where you got to protect the guy who's attempting a shot. And listen, I haven't felt like there's ever been a single game this year where that's why we've won or lost.
Right.
But I do think oftentimes, when it affects the flow of the game, and listen, our guys know it's my job to talk to the officials. Your job is to move on to the next play and play with great force and physicality. That's what we do. Play with great force and physicality, and you get the call, you don't get the call, you do your best to make the shot, and then you go down to the other side and you get ready to get a stop. It's really, and it's human nature, right? Guys are going to get frustrated at times, but we try to really be about that next play mentality, and I think our guys have handled that really well.
Speaking of making shots, last two games we've seen Quest Glover make some shots. Does it seem like he's kind of getting into a little bit of a good groove there?
Well, I think his decision making has been better, and that's helped. He's struggled there with some decision making that led to some poor shot selection at times, which led to a poor shooting percentage. And I think we're seeing now he's starting to make some more consistent decisions, and it's helping him. We need his offense. We need a scoring punch, off the bench. Aaron's provided that at times, a couple games, but obviously he's been out. So you look at last night and the bench production. That was they had won that column of the game. So we need him to be aggressive, but we need him to read those situations well, be a creator for others, because he's got an ability to get in the paint. And then, he's got to take his opportunities and make the most of them.
It's interesting. One of my favorite coaches of all time, Coach Chuck Mayshock, God rest his soul, he really impacted me as a young player. He's like, Ronnie, there's a reason why you keep getting these charging calls. Make better decisions, quit flying in there, right? And it won't happen, right? But I like what you said about Quest Glover. I mean, his importance to this team is right there. I mean, we referenced his productivity off the bench against Minnesota on the road. Big reason why we were able to win that basketball game. And the decision making has got to get better. And the challenge, I know he's quick, right? But there's guys in there 6'9", 6'10", 7'3". In this particular case, it makes it tough for little guys go in there and make plays.
Yeah, he and I have talked. When you draw the help, a lot of times because it's near the rim, that help is going to be bigger, and that's where you got to be really hunting passing and hunting assists. You get angles, like he's been able to get some angles to the rim where there's, he can use his speed and get the ball up on the glass quickly. You got to take those shots. So I think he's done a better job of reading those situations lately, and it's been good for us. And if he can continue to do that, it'll help us.
We've talked about it before, but is his quickness a big key on defense too?
Yeah, he's got an ability to pressure the ball and be disruptive. Now he's got to continue to work off the ball, but I think his ability on the ball, we've seen it multiple possessions where it's just completely taken a team out of what they want to do that possession offensively. And he's got great speed and instincts and toughness there. That can be really impactful.
Coach Jones, talk about Sean Stewart. He's learning as a player. He's a sophomore, but it seems like his early fouls is getting him off the floor. Even when he's out there doing well, you're forced to take him out. What is it, technique? What's causing him to pick up all these fouls? I know he's playing, undersized at times, but what can be done to kind of help prevent some of those?
Yeah, I think anticipation's important, Ron. Sometimes he may be a step behind, right, which results in a foul. I think we've there's been times where we've asked him, certain games because we're trying to protect the three-point line more to guard one-on-one. And I think he's fought, he's played tough, but there's a couple times too, he and I talk about, for example, you're guarding the ball screen coverage, right? And then when you go return to your man, you can't return behind him under the rim. You got to return to the front side, right? And then if he wants to force you higher, then you spin off behind, and now his level is away from the rim. So there's some technical things there through experience, right, that he'll get better at. So I think it's a kind of a combination of a couple things. And I've also told him, like, we got to be able to trust you with some foul trouble, but you can't like not have a presence either, to where you're being consumed by thinking about not fouling. So he's you got to remember, this is almost like a freshman year, right, as far as playing time and experience. So biggest thing is, Sean's got to continue to play really, really hard, play tough. He's been a really good rebounder for us. Had some possessions where he wasn't physical enough, or last night I gave up some offensive rebounds, but for the most part he's been a really good rebounder. And I liked his aggressiveness in the paint offensively. Like he's got to continue to look to score in there. So I think he's got to keep fighting for that consistent level. He had a really good stretch. Then he got hit with this flu pretty bad. Missed I think it was the Illinois game, and it's taken some time, honestly, for him to get back to that rhythm, because he was playing really well prior to that, and he will. I mean, this is a game coming up on Wednesday where he can be really impactful.
We'll talk more when we continue with our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
Where more than 1,700 scientists are working on new treatments and new hope for every form of cancer.
You're making the choice to have the most advanced treatments, many of which were developed right here.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com. For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations, in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, Hulu with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double fuel points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with while we deliver your groceries. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan. Your home for Buckeye basketball. This is the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
The Foundation is operating a 50-50 raffle at each Ohio State home men's basketball game this season, with proceeds supporting community-based NIL opportunities and The Foundation charities. For more information on how you can participate, visit The Foundation's social media channels. They are also organizing the Ron Stokes birthday tour from here throughout Los Angeles. Ohio State will be on the road, continuing on the road, playing Wednesday at USC. We'll go back to our Union Home Mortgage inbox questions. Adam in Columbus asking, what challenges are you facing when it comes to baseline out-of-bounds plays, and how often are you looking to score quickly versus just simply getting it inbounds?
Yeah, we want to be really aggressive. We had a couple issues when teams have put like they put a 7-3 guy over our inbounder. That presents challenges certainly, but and so in last night, for example, we wanted to get the ball in and then kind of get to another action. We've had success, with kind of screening actions and slipping actions to get quick scores. I like to be aggressive, out of bounds under. So, and then there's layers to it. Like we have a couple layered out of bounds under plays. So yes, I guess is the answer to the question. And sometimes it just depends, but. When teams have put their center over the ball, I'm going to blank on who did it. We attacked them on the other side because their big was matched up to our guard. We were able to get some really good stuff, and I'm blanking out on who it was earlier in the conference season. So you got to strategize for each specific attack because you'll see different. Some teams will X out. You run stuff strong side corner, the inbounder leaves the guy taking it out, and they jump out to take away that pass, so that opens up different things. So teams in our league guard out of bounds under differently. And, it's an opportunity, I think, to kind of steal some buckets. So we want to be really aggressive with those.
It's sometimes, unfortunately, you have to burn a timeout. I know those timeouts can be so valuable late in the game, but what's the thought process on that? Like, you hate that you turn it over at the same time, but you want that timeout.
I hate it, Ron. I hate it when that happens because when it's happened for us, we've missed the open guy or we haven't executed, as well as we need to. And so I just consider those, self-inflicted. There hasn't been a time where we've executed well or hit the open guy, right, or read it correctly, I should say, and felt like, well, we don't like this, we need to use a timeout, right? I mean, so sometimes I think guys get a little antsy in there, and we get a little just kind of, like if you see that window, take it, I don't want us to play safe. Like, I think at times we play safe in that situation. You see the window, take it. Like, if we turn it over, you know what? It's not the end of the world. But let's give a chance to get aggressive and get a quick score. So I don't really have I get very frustrated. We've had to do it a couple times where we didn't execute appropriately because we spend time on it. So that part. And then other times we just haven't quite read the progression as well as we need to, and we've missed opportunities. But I think it's happened a few times this year. So yes, it drives me crazy. When you say your out of bounds stuff is layered, does that mean giving changes to the same look? Yeah, it's counters, right? It's having a play and then having a counter because scouting's so good in this league. It's having multiple scoring cuts, in the same play, and then sometimes it's get the ball in and then progress. Maybe the guy who catches it isn't the option to score, but it triggers another action after that initial catch, and that would be kind of like the layers, that I'm referencing. So from a defensive standpoint, and Ron talks about this a lot during the games, is the inbounder a guy that can be a certain danger also after he's gotten the ball inbound? Yeah. I mean, we have an action we've had success with where we get the ball back to our inbounder pretty quickly and and then go to the next part, and it's created some driving angles for us. So I think you got to have options to attack different parts of the floor, because if you just go to one area all the time, right? It's easier for teams to take that away. So we try to change up the areas that we can attack.
Throughout the year, you're going to have some tough games, and I know these guys want to play better. But I thought Ivan Nagovin struggled a little bit, and I thought it was a game that he could potentially play when you look at their opposition 7-3, but he's not the most agile guy for UCLA. Just talk about why he struggled so much in the ball game.
Yeah, I felt going into the game that, we wanted to align that matchup, right, and that could help us. And, I think Ivan, I think he just, specifically offensively, he just got so sped up, and when he caught the ball, it was almost like he played like the ball was on fire, and he had to get it out of his hands as quickly as possible. He's got to continue to grow in that area. He's got to play with more poise, slow down a little bit, and if they want to commit 3 guys at him when he gets it, then just turn and kick it out, and we'll hit the 3. But when he does turn to shoot, he's shooting so rushed. That it's a problem, and they were just kind of attacking every time he got the ball. They were attacking him, and then defensively, I think he's got to continue to grow with his positioning and ball screen coverage. But I think he's had some really good moments, and I'm really excited about kind of his progression in the future that's ahead of him, because he's got some really good basketball instincts, and he works really hard, and he cares a great deal. But we need him to be better than he was yesterday, because we need some minutes, some good quality minutes from him, and he will. I mean, he was beating himself up a little bit after the game, and
he cares.
He does, and we talked about it and said, hey, how are you going to respond next time you're out there? Like that's how you can I guess quote unquote make it right. Just go out there and play, respond, and don't just be in the moment, man. I think this team, it's been the message, here these last couple of days. You got to be in the moment, and we can't be so emotional. Maybe when a play doesn't happen the way we want it to, and whatever. We got to give our max on that any given possession, and that's individually and collectively.
More with Coach Diebler when we continue with our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield. Hey, Buckeye Nation, Paul Keels here for my other favorite nation, Window Nation. If you're a fan of scoring, you're going to love this. Window Nation is going nuts with an incredible offer just for you. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free plus 0 down and 0 payments with 0 interest for 2 years. And if you order a full house of windows, you'll be part of a full house at the Shoe with tickets to a Buckeye game. Call Window Nation today at 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com. Tell them Paul sent you for the Buckeyes Full House Special.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Union Home Mortgage knows Buckeye fans never leave Ohio State behind. We've helped millions of first-time home buyers get into their dream home through our 1% down payment program. Put as little as 1% down, and UHM tosses in up to 2% on the house. Learn more at UHM.com or call 877-846-4968. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
It's Toyota truck and all-wheel drive season with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, including all-wheel drive versions of the best-selling Corolla. Now through March 3rd, get low-rate financing on a Corolla or lease a gas-powered 25 Corolla LE for $229 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. with approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Buckeye Nation, join us on April 13th at the 2025 Ohio State Four-Mother, presented by Union Home Mortgage, the Ohio Beef Council, and Raising Cane's. This is your chance to run down the tunnel and finish on the 50-yard line at Ohio Stadium. A portion of the proceeds benefit the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. This is something you won't want to miss. Register today at ohiostatefourmother.com. Go Bucks!
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Joint partners American Electric Power, Kroger, Donato's, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS-TV in Columbus. In supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare. And welcome back to our show. Coach Jake Diebler. We shouldn't make it just about Ron Stokes' birthday. Happy birthday to your daughter, Jake.
Yeah. Got a nice video. Woke up to a nice video early this morning of some presents being opened before school. So, yeah, it's a blessing.
Yes, it is a blessing.
It is. We will start with another of our Union Home Mortgage inbox questions. Jamie in Worcester. Certainly people forget these players are students. How tough is it for them to keep up with those responsibilities while being on the road for this long stretch?
Yeah, well, we're fortunate at Ohio State to have great resources. And like on this trip, we have, one of our academic advisors with us, to help facilitate any questions or whatever our guys need in that space. And it's an important space to me. Our guys know that. We make that clear when we recruit guys into this program, and our guys performed. We had the best GPA this program has seen in a long time in the fall semester. And so because it's important, there's accountability and in all things that are important, and our guys have embraced it. So I think one of the best parts about Ohio State is the greater network that you become a part of. Certainly the network that is in the family that is Ohio State basketball. But, why not? It's my job, it's our job to get guys to understand just how valuable an Ohio State degree is. And we talk about it a lot. So our guys know how important it is, and they share with that same mentality.
Yeah, you think about it, having tutors and support systems no different than the additional work you do to improve as a basketball player. You're just taking that same mindset and principle to academics. You need people to support you in areas that you're potentially weak in.
Yeah, and you gotta spend time.
Yeah,
that's the reality of it. So our guys do a really good job with it. I've been really happy with that.
One of the things we talked about off the air, and you've alluded to it a little bit, a guy like Austin Parks had a stretch there where he hadn't played quite a while. But he gets in against Northwestern. He gets in yesterday. Is that a testament to a guy just staying ready?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's part of it, right? He's certainly, like many of our guys, have had some inconsistency with their availability to practice, and it's impacted his growth a little bit. But he's had some consistent now couple weeks, and I thought he did a really good job in his minutes against UCLA.
Yeah, I love those two particular plays he made, the effort plays. He went and got that rebound out of his area and went up strong and finished, and then flat out sacrificing his body, just laying it out to get that ball. I mean, how does that not help your team?
No, it was big time, Ron. It was big time, and that stuff needs to be celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
And
more guys doing some of that too.
Yeah, but like you said, our effort was high level, and it's amazing how contagious plays like that are.
It is.
Right, our effort was high level that game, and he had some really, really good good plays.
How about a word on USC that you'll see on Wednesday?
Yeah, really, really dynamic offensive team. You know, they got some big-time scoring guards, got an ability to make shots from the perimeter, and they, change up their defensive schemes. So it's going to be a real tall challenge. But, we'll be ready for it. And biggest thing for us, we got to utilize this time to, I think, prepare really, really well while also, trying to get a little bit healthier.
Well, as always, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Go Bucks.
And thanks for listening to today's show, presented by Roosters and brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association of Mid-East, and by Credit Union of Ohio. Join us Wednesday night as Ohio State plays at USC. Our pregame coverage begins at 9:45 p.m. For Skip Mossick, Colin Behringer, Ron Stokes, and Coach Jake Diebler, this is Paul Keels. Thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Winter's here, and as the snow begins to pile up outside, you might find yourself dreaming of warmer days, sunshine, barbecues, fishing, maybe even thinking about those home projects you've been putting off for forever. Why wait for spring to start planning? Now's the perfect time to get ahead. With so many roofing, gutter, and siding companies out there, it can feel overwhelming to know where to begin. With over 30 years of experience and a focus on every detail, Newman Roofing makes it simple. As a family-owned business, they're dedicated to delivering an outstanding customer experience from your first phone call all the way through to the final touches on your home. When it comes to roofing, gutters, and siding, trust the name that's been a local favorite for decades, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, Sleep Better